Sometimes relevant information is kind of hidden in the weeds, but if you can focus in on it, you can extract a blessing out of it and see that your future is getting brighter. This is major. This is why you've been holding the ISO coins and why ISO is important when related to coins. It's a fantastic show today. Stick with us till the end. We're going to cover BTCC real quick and the decent wallet, then we'll be right back. How would you like to earn an extra $100, $200, or even $500 a day? Even more than that. I have many friends that are earning money every single day trading futures on BTCC. It's a simple process. And even if you don't want to learn how to trade, you can follow a trader on the site and let him do the trading for you, and you will earn according to his trades. Sometimes I follow All the Money by Q, and his trades earn me money. He has a 93% success rate, and he earns a great percentage. So even if you don't know how to trade, there's a way to make money. But I suggest learn how to trade, earn you some extra money on BTCC. It's easy. You do not have to KYC, and you don't have to use a virtual private network. This is a wonderful site. They've been around since 2011. Get them a shot. Also, when you earn that extra money, you can store that in your Decent wallet. The Decent wallet was not affected by the recent XRPL debacle where the back door of many wallets was opened and there was a breach. So Decent wallet was not affected by that. Decent wallet is as safe as you keep your seed phrase. It's a wonderful product, and you can get the discount by using the link. It is the only way you can get an affiliate discount is to use an affiliate link. So that link that's popping up at the right side of the screen is the one that you use. You will also get free shipping. Pick you up a Decent wallet today. Secure your assets. If you don't have them stored in a wallet and sitting on an exchange, then you're at risk. So pick you one up today. Thanks for looking at that for us. It supports our channels. We're always grateful for what you do. And you guys respond real big on this stuff. We really appreciate it. Everything you can do for the channel, we appreciate it. And which reminds me, always like and subscribe if you like the material. If you don't and you just want to support us, hit that thumbs up. That gets the algorithm tickled and we get more views, and we appreciate that. So Max, ISO is a big deal, and there's a reason why some coins are ISO and some coins are not. And this is a blessing hidden in the weeds that we're going to cover today.
It really is a blessing hidden in the weeds. And, the way I look at it is we're going to show you with actual proof, actual real visuals, cite some things with the visuals to pound it all home on why you've been holding some of these ISO coins and tokens. It's what is compliant. Okay. And of course, you're going to see some of this from Swift. Let's jump into it. So first thing is actually going to come once again from Smoke. I know we've been highlighting him quite a bit, but you know what? He makes our life so easy. I remember spending hours of deep dive research, right? When I could just go through the Brother Smoke. So thank you, Smoke, if you happen to be watching this. Let's get into it. Here he highlights this. And, sometimes I like it when people just put in the lamest terms. From Ripple's own documentation, with the ISO 222 PAX structure and nomenclature, Ripple's messaging functionality allows for extensibility, capturing additional payment metadata as well as original message the payment was originated from. I'll come back actually for a second. So I want to point this out to all of you guys when it comes to ISO 222 messaging. That old MT system, the coexistence period of Swift's MT comes to an end with the mandates, which is basically in November. I think it's November 22nd of 2025 this year. When you get to the part of this visual, you will see the importance of crypto specifically. And again, the orchestration of that, because that's the smoking gun. And of course, before we get into this, we want to make a little bit more sense to you other than just boom, here you go, because we realize there's a lot of new people. As I full screen this, I want to point out some other things from Smoke. He says in the translation, Ripple uses the ISO 222 format, and that allows it to carry richer payment data, including extra info like crypto in the message payload, along with the original message details. This makes Ripple messaging flexible and ready for modern value transfer. That's exactly why the new ISO 222 MX messages include an entire section for crypto. That's key. And oh, by the way, Swift introduced ISO 222 all the way back in 2004. So introducing things you're going to be replaced by? No, introducing things that you're going to upgrade to in the new era. So to enable crypto assets, these have to be used in transfer by ISO 222 compliant blockchain companies like Ripple and XRP. So I'm going to show you in a more bigger format of what Smoke's talking about. He says this, and hopefully this is big enough for you guys. Yes, it is. It's the details regarding the messaging formats. And like it says, the information captured in the messaging is largely based on the old MT103, again, the old Swift system, with the ISO 222 pack structure. But the bottom line is Ripple's messaging functionality will allow for extensibility, capturing additional payment metadata, as well as the original message payment it came from. Don't ever try to forget that, because at the end of the day, that's what's important. Now, this part was from Ripple. We'll show you the one that comes from Swift. The one from Swift, in my opinion, is the smoking gun. And as we blow this up a little bit more, it says on the comparison, left to right, how is an MT structure different from an MX structure? Again, if you're lost in translation, Swift is the MT, ISO 222 is the MX. Both are technically Swift, but it's the upgrade. ISO 222 with MX is, in fact, that upgrade. As you see on the compare and contrast, if you look at the left side of the screen on the old model of MT that dates back to the 1970s, there, of course, is no mention about crypto, because that technology with distributed ledger technologies and blockchain simply did not exist at that particular time. But the difference is pointed out here with the red arrow to ISO 222 MX messaging, where you see in the orchestration the exchange request. And you see, for example, the request payload. What would be the payload? Would it be your Ripple's XRPs, your Hederas, your Stellars, your Algorands, you name it? Would Quant with API orchestration be part of the mix? Again, that wouldn't be for settlement, but that would be for the interoperability. But you do see that arrow point to crypto. So we have another outline that we're going to do on another day that's also going to highlight, for example, Hedera's role in it. And I understand that obviously when it comes to Swift and Chainlink have a role. And of course, Chainlink is, in my opinion, the king of oracles. So everything has a role, but again, they just put crypto here. So what about the ones that are ISO 222 compliant? I think that's the bottom line, because yes, some people will say, well, it says crypto. It could be all crypto. Well, I'll come back in a frame for a minute, because when we talk about all crypto, we know that when it comes to the Bank for International Settlements, it's not going to be all crypto. Most likely, if you have a central bank of Spain send a cross-border payment for some other country, let's say it's Venezuela, because Venezuela is going bankrupt and they need help, well, you're going to need a multi-trillion-dollar loan, and maybe the Central Bank of Venezuela wants the Central Bank of Spain to send that. But again, this orchestration being sent here, what would settle? Well, that crypto that would be settled, it would make sense. It would be something like your Ripple XRP. As we get further into this, we want to highlight what is on the bottom left of the screen. And again, to me, this is a smoking gun, because it actually comes from Swift. And like it says from the brochure, ISO 222 program, quality data, and quality payments. To me, this pounds home why we hold the ISO 222 compliant coins and tokens, because the crypto that will be used, well, it's the ones that are in that compliance. Not every bank is going to use just any type of thing out there. They're going to use the ones that stood the test through, obviously, the regulated liability network, the regulated settlement network, and those test pilots, because those test pilots mean that Just like with gaming, you're beta testing. You can't release the final product until you have done the pilot stage beta testing. Your thoughts on all this, Mr. Will Fix?
Well, a little bit of an aha moment. We did a show just the other day talking about the Swift matrix system that had in the programming had some settlement because it had the buying and selling of XRP when we looked at that. So when we add this on top of that layer, what you have is when they select the crypto. So I think the argument, that becomes in the air is Swift was not going to be handling settlement. Okay, that's fine. But through API and through the other systems, settlement will be handled by these cryptocurrencies. They'll do their own settlement. So the settlement might be directed by, the video we did. I think we mentioned the matrix on it, or the fact that they did the code. It's written in the code. So I'm wondering if this graphic, if it's similar to maybe the Swift interface. It may be that the interface has a place that when you select crypto, you select which ones, and then settlements handled by um, probably AI in some form. I think we were talking about Web3 type products where certain decisions can be pre-made in a smart contract way. And so if it's built into the system that the fees are paid by with XRP, and XRP is the to be used for the payment and for the settlement, that's not Swift doing it. That would be the system behind the scenes doing it. But that's what I see on this layer. This looks like another layer on top, but it's really it's getting so close that Swift is going to be doing settlement. It's almost like well, technically we're not, but we are. That's what I see in this. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
I do see what you're saying. And we also have covered, I think a few maybe dives back. Sometimes it's hard to remember it all because we cover so many things. But the way I look at it, Will, is yes, Smoke pointed this out in another video that I believe it was you and I. If it wasn't you and I, maybe it was me and Channing or somebody else I'm, networked with and so on. But we pointed out that there is a shift. And again, I think it might have been that shift of the switch video that we did, where you see that before in the old era, from 1970s to present, or I would just say all the way up to the mandate, November 22nd, 2025, that Swift was just that messaging layer for those order books. Now, the difference is going to MX, there won't be a coexistence period anymore. So there won't be Swift MT messaging and ISO 222 MX. The dominant force moving forward with the mandate would just be ISO 222 with MX. So if that's the case, like Smoke pointed out with his documentation, pounding home, that the shift is Swift would now manage transactions, where on the other hand, they didn't do transactions, but they did the messaging layer for that, and of course, those order books. So again, that's what caused so many delays, and people didn't like that old model because that's old tech. You have messages that truncate, gets garbled up in translation. As the saying goes, time is money. So if they're going to start managing, well, then who would replace that? Boom. Once again, like we covered, your Ripple XRP. So I think now, based off of those videos, and we highly recommend you guys watching these videos because it goes into detail and it shows you, yeah, you know what? It's not just an upgrade. It's an upgrade for Swift because they'll be managing transactions, but literally Ripple XRP would be replacing Swift. I know it was a mouthful, but there you go.
It's more and more reasons why XRP is such a fantastic investment.
Yeah, it truly is. And, we'll keep talking about this until I guess we drop dead, right? So we're happy to bring you guys the material. Hey, simply do us a solid if you listen to the entire outline and type this 2-letter phrase into the comments, and that is MX. So basically like my name minus the A. MX, and we'll know that you listened to the entire outline. On behalf of myself and Will Fix, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research trumps FUD 110%. We'll see you on the next one.